Governor OKEZIE IKPEAZU has officially commissioned the Osusu Road, Abia, reconstructed by his government, with a charge for residents and landlords to set up a neighborhood task force that would assist in protecting the road and enforce environmental sanitation. Speaking at the event, the governor assured the era of Dubai roads in Abia is over, as his government is poised to give quality road infrastructure as the minimum standard henceforth. Dr. IKPEAZU said the government has fulfilled its responsibility of providing quality road to residents of Osusu, maintaining that it behoves them to protect it for their own good.
All right, let's close live now to Moya, the Abia State Capital, where His Excellency, the Governor of Abia State, OKEZIE Victor IKPEAZU, joins us now. Governor, it's interesting to have you, glad to have you on the show, Newsday, on Arise News. All right, let's start. Good, let's start this way. Let's start with the fact that Ariaria market in Abia is one of the biggest markets in Africa. Abia is also known to produce what I will call good bespoke tailors, or if you like, what they are called now, designers. So the question is, there's a case for infrastructure, particularly roads, especially in Abia. And then how are you driving investments, and what's the attraction really for investors?
Well, thank you very much. I want to say that I appreciate the compliments, especially kind words towards the Abia people, the entrepreneurs, the artisans, and those who do great things with their hands, whether shoe or garments. When we came in 2015, we had problem of accessing our area, as it were. You know, because either from Akwa Ibom or from Port Harcourt, it was difficult to get into Abia. And then within the Abia, you could not access our area. It will take you almost the whole day to do so if you can get through the puddles. But as I speak today, we've been able to do an alternative route all the way from Akwa Ibom into Abia. We did 3 alternative entry points from Obo Hill, namely Ehere, Umuala, and Ukebu. And from the express, talking about Port Harcourt taxis, we opened for the first time in 20 years the access from Brass Junction to the express. We have also done 3 other alternative routes from that flank: Omini Drive, MCC Road, and Tonimas. So anybody coming to Abia from either Port Harcourt or from Umuahia can have free access into the city today. And we completed that by doing the major route to Ariaria, which is the Fox Road. This road took us quite a lot in terms of money and engineering-wise. We had to do 6.5 kilometers tunneling to the water side in order for us to establish the road. Now, Osusu Road is ancillary to that one. And incidentally, from point of view of stormwater management, Osusu Road takes away water from parts of Fox Road to the Abia River. So we needed to just do that. But the narrative here is that there's a new paradigm. We are disrupting what used to be the tradition in construction here. The roads we do here now must come with drainages and rigid pavement. And then we use asphalt as our wearing cost on the rigid pavement. So we are looking for a lifespan of at least 30, 40 years. And this is the only way to grow our infrastructural stock. It's only if I'm able to do roads that will outlive my administration, that the next administration will inherit those roads and then go ahead to do new ones, forgetting about maintaining the old ones for now. Having said that, the investors here understand the quality and rigor we are deploying in terms of engineering to deliver our roads. They may take time, but we are certain that the roads we are doing will give us at least 30 years. And this is what investors want. Because normally it takes 5 years for investors to begin to recoup their investments. So they want to establish that the roads can give them at least 20, 30 years within which they can recoup their investment. That is why today I'm happy and proud to say that life has returned to Aba, has returned to Area, it has returned to the Central Business District. Today, for the first time in many years, we have Domino's, we have Cold Stone, we have Tantalizers, we have Kilimanjaro, we have Marketplace, we have Chicken Republic, all of them happening within a space of 6 months.
Okay,
so Governor, I'm happy that...
Governor, we congratulate you on that, but I couldn't help but notice that you used the word repeatedly for the first time. And even leading up to this interview, we mentioned that the days of Dubai roads are over. You've been a governor in Abia State since 2015. Why has it taken so long to come to this point? I know, reading up, I see you've had a tussle with federal, especially to do with the roads. The federal government doing the federal roads, or the state doing the state, taking over. What has been resolved as far as that's concerned? Because I know as late as November, you were issuing an ultimatum that they either come and do it or the state government will do it. So where have you reached in that impasse?
Oh, yes. We extracted commitment from Arab contractors that is doing the major road from Aba to Port Harcourt. And we have seen some skeletal activity on that flank, and we want to give them some few more weeks to see how far that goes. But we have resumed on Aba Ekotebene Road from the Aba axis, and we want to do the first 5 kilometers, deploying rigid pavement on some of that stretch to ensure that we meet up with what the Chinese are doing coming from Ekotebene. So we'll meet ourselves midway somewhere. We couldn't wait. You need to understand the plight of the above person when it comes to locking us up by making sure that we can't get out from Aba and people can come into Abia. Abia is at the center of 7 states in between the southeast and south-south. And all the routes leading into Abia from Ekotebene, either through Umuahia or Aba, cannot be accessed. You cannot come to Aba from Port Harcourt. So what it means is that trade and commerce can no longer flourish. And our people were choking under this association. And we decided to take our destiny in our hands. That's why I did an alternative route from Ekotebene single-handedly. And now I'm joining forces with whosoever is doing Ekotebene highway, which is handled by the federal government, to make sure I do the Aba end. I get threats that monies will not be refunded to us for several reasons, but that is not my primary concern. My primary concern is that my people must get service.
That's quite interesting, because I read here that you actually threatened that, well, I'm going to do the federal roads, whether there's a refund or not. Before we get to some other issues, let's tackle the question of the payment of salaries and pensions, which seem to have been a recurring decimal in your administration. What's the current situation and what's the plan going forward? Have you been able to clear those salaries and pensions? And why should people who have served their nation even be owed a penny, even when you consider that their salary or what they're earning anyway is meager?
The issues are over-exaggerated. And the problem did not start from now, especially the issue of pensions. But suffice it to say that 95% of the entire Abia workforce are up to speed in terms of salary, 95%. Those that we are owing are mainly those who run government agencies and parastatals that are ordinarily supposed to be revenue yielding. For instance, if you work with Abia Line, and then you have 200 vehicles flying all routes in Nigeria, why should you not be able to make money and pay your staff? Is it government that is paying the Young Shall Grow or Ekeredi Chukwu or Chisco? Why shouldn't why shouldn't you make money to pay your workers and return revenue to government? But we're not asking them to return revenue. We're saying just make enough money, manage your resources prudently, and pay. And then we also have agencies of government that receive subvention. These agencies of government that receive subvention, government pays subvention, and you make up with your intelligent revenue, whatever is your salary and overhead, and run. We can't afford free lunch anymore because at some point in 2020, you will agree with me that oil sold for $20 per barrel. And that affected badly our capacity to receive inflow from FAC. And then because we had a phase of lockdown in 2020, courtesy of COVID, we could not generate IGR as much as we would have loved to. So where are we going to get the money from? This is time for everybody to be on his duty post and do the needful. If you have an agency or government parastatal that you are managing, the responsibility you have is to ensure that whatever subvention government gives you are able to generate some revenue and reduce costs, make sure that people that are not supposed to be there should not be there. I have an agency that has 60 people manning 2 gates. Why do you have to employ 60 persons to man 2 gates? Why do you have to employ 100 and something people manning a canteen? You know, so these things are on the west side of recurrent and recurrent expenditure, and we want to ensure some physical discipline by making sure that the proper things are done. Having said that, we owe some salary to our secondary school teachers. We owe some salary to some health management board staff, but we are reorganizing, and we are starting by saying, my philosophy is that I will not reinforce failure, one, and I will not put money in an empty pocket or a pocket with holes. If I have 2 pockets in my trouser and one of them has holes in it, I won't put my money in that one. So everybody must sit and reform now. We're asking that at the headquarters of HMB, why do you have 150 persons? What are they doing at the headquarters? If they have work to do as medical or paramedical staff, they should go to the hospitals and work.
Okay.
And I took a tour of a hospital, General Hospital at Isubu, to be precise, by 4 p.m. on that fateful day. And I had the burden of opening the gate myself, walking through the corridors and hallway until I got to the mortuary. All I saw was the cost. No staff, no doctor, no nurse. Why should I pay?
Okay.
So we
Governor,
have issues. Yes.
I'm glad you're going down the corridors of the health sector, because that's where my mind was going. You know, they say health is wealth, even if you say you can't afford a free lunch. So let's look at your investment in the health sector. I know you're a COVID survivor, so you understand the importance of making sure we have the right structures on the ground to preempt this kind of a disaster that seems to be going around globally. So maybe you can specifically tell us where you are with the Mother and Child Hospital in Umuahia and even the Mikio Dialysis Center you referred to. These are areas of investment that would be of interest to know how far you've progressed on them.
Thank you. I want to start by sharing my strategy on that, because we understood also from 2015 that we just may not have the time to do everything. So we had to be strategic about our deployments, given the fact that we don't even have all the money. So we were looking at the vulnerable extremes, the mother and child on one extreme, and then the aged on the other extreme. In between them is also the young people who may go down with cardiovascular accident, go down with road traffic accident, go down with all kinds of emergencies. So for the extremes, we have a geriatric outreach that is managed by an Abian that used to be a diasporan, but studied geriatric medicine in America, practiced for more than 20 years and is back. So he runs our community outreach for old people. That is free. And then on the other extreme, we are just furnishing it now, a pediatric hospital, or our mother and child hospital, where we want to take care at the highest level of service, our children, because we want to make sure that infant mortality is reduced to the barest minimum, and we want to ensure that whatever the matter would be, that any child that dies at birth in Abia, that a call should be put across to the governor to explain why. It is not for me to punish anybody or apportion blame, but just for me to know that we have lost a child. And doing that will ensure that people sit up to their duties and their responsibilities.
All right.
So having seen those two.
All right, Governor, I'm going to ask you, we're going to keep you on pause. All right. All right, let me ask this question before we'll go on a break. Now, the talk in some quarters is that it's time for the Igbo nation to produce a president. But then the question's being asked is the Igbo nation consulting enough? Are the Igbo leaders united enough to achieve this dream? You will answer this question when we return from this break, Governor. Stay with us. We're glad to have you back. You're still watching News Day here on Arise News, and we'll have a special interview with the governor of Abia State, OKEZIE, Victor IKPEAZU. Governor, glad to know you're still there. Now, let me ask you this question again, and getting some other thing into the question. The talk in some quarters, like I told you before we went on break, is that the Igbo nation is due, in quotes, to produce the president of this nation. But then there is talk also that the question being asked, is the Igbo nation consulting enough across the length and breadth of Nigeria, across the divide of Nigeria, to be able to achieve this dream? And then, if you would like, add to it the fact that you just had an election, Ohanaeze Ndigbo, Professor George Obiozor, the former ambassador, is now the head of Ohanaeze Ndigbo. How does this fit into this particular dream of having a president from the Igbo nation for Nigeria?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Just permit me to also inform that we have renovated 4 general hospitals in Abia. We have 2 functional molecular laboratories. We have 2 isolation centers well equipped with monitor and everything you need to sort out COVID-19. We have a new infectious diseases hospital. And Abia State today is the only state that has a telehealth backbone. Our telehealth initiative has about 15 doctors in a call center in Government House just beside where I am sitting now. And they take calls 24/7 from patients and from our primary healthcare centers. We have a total of 240 primary healthcare centers, and 200 of them are linked to this telehealth center. So we are really moving forward. And what I expect people to see before the end of this year is a polyclinic in the old Abia General Hospital. This polyclinic will respond to all health emergencies that may arise from within Abia and Abia State in general. I'm sorry, we have 722 primary healthcare centers and 200 are connected to our telehealth initiative. So back to your question. Yes, I thank those who feel that time has come for us to have an Igbo president, a Nigerian president of Igbo extraction. I say this because the Igbos have invested emotionally in the Nigerian project. We have invested financially, economically in the Nigerian project. There is no part of Nigeria that you will not see we can hold one another's hand moving forward. So it is also good that for the stability of the polity and for the sake of what we mouth and what we say, time has come for us to give this part of Nigeria a chance to serve our country at the highest level, and I think they will do a very good job at that. Having said that, are we consulting enough? The answer is yes. We are speaking, we are talking, we are engaging, and that is perhaps what has led to the choice of an erudite diplomat to lead Ohanaeze Ndigbo at a time like this. We expect that he will bring his wealth of experience to do the shuttles that are required to reassure Nigerians that we will serve them diligently, committedly, and faithfully. I think that Professor Obiozor will do that job properly. But I want to say to us, I have said this before and I want to say here again, that I want Nigerians to, yes, their expectations are valid, but they should place it where it can be attainable. I'm saying that hard work, the industry, and the acceptability of the Igbo man across Nigeria. Because if you go to everywhere, like I said, I'm sure that we have investments even in Sambisa Forest. For this reason, we have shown sufficiently the unity of this country. And a people that is scattered all over Nigeria cannot but wish and pray and work that the country remains a functional unity. And that is what our strongest credential is going forward. But let Nigerians not wait until all of us, we sing alto. In a choir, people will sing bass, others will sing treble.
Well, the most important thing there, like he was saying, in a choir, some people will sing alto, others will sing treble. The most important thing for the choir master is to harmonize it, or the producer of the music, to harmonize it, to bring out a rhythm that everyone can dance
understand.
to, can align with, even though you're singing. And that is talking about the fact that you disagree to agree.
Yes.
Everybody must not agree.
Yes.
But then the end goal is to disagree to eventually agree so you can move forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was hopefully he will go to that when he comes back on track, because one of the main issues that has been leveled against Ndibo is the lack of unity. Even the Ohaneze Ndibo elections there were
boycotts. I was going to raise that issue with him.
And this is not meant to be a political issue. It's meant to be someone who is like an ambassador, grassroots, bringing people together, and yet it still stirred up this level of controversy. So you then wonder how the Ndibo are going to chart their course towards this dream.
Well, I guess that's what he was saying. What he was saying. So people are going to sing alto, even among the Ohanese and Ndibo. So people are going to sing treble.
Different tones.
But the most important thing is at the end of the day, let it be that we forged ahead together and drop our differences. All right, we have the governor back. Governor, we'll ask you to continue from where you left off.
Yes, I just want to say, country, to see the good side of our people, and then for the purposes of equity and unity of this country, for the purposes of managing our nuances, our perceptions correctly, for the purpose of running away from excluding any group of persons, we would want to be given the opportunity and privilege to serve at that level. And my assurance is that, yes, we may not have everything ready to go as I speak, but going forward, it is a project, it is a work in progress, and they should look at the spirit and not the discordant tones.
Okay, Governor, may I just come in at this point and say that let's not presume that everyone is sold on this, what appears to be an argument for zoning, because for me, well, let me not speak for myself, it would seem to speak of an indictment of our political process where we have to almost signpost the next governor should come from here. Why can't we have a system that allows the best man, the best woman even, to put themselves forward for the opportunity to serve at the highest level?
Yes, what you have said is right. That is utopian, classical. That is maybe something that is yet to come, because you can't deny the fact that Nigerians have their sentiments, we have our biases, and if certain steps are not taken, we may overstretch these biases to the point where we may be having issues assuaging the fears of one another. And once you are unable to do sufficient social justice protected by you, if you are in charge, and your interests are protected by me if I'm in charge, then you'll be like you just won't be carrying everybody along, and you won't make as much progress. I have said this to say that those who crafted our course, as people say it is, all these things need to be in place, including quota system. At some point, some parts of this country felt that others were doing better when it comes to general exams like JAMB and all that. And then if nothing is done to allow some opportunity for university admissions in all the states, that some states may take up all the admission opportunities in all the states and others. If we look at the cut-off point, they do. And some of us are background, and I think the policy at that time served this purpose because, yes, you must give somebody from Zamfara, Ondo, Ogun, Abia, and even Kogi to the opportunity to put forth their children. They should have at least some representation on every jam list every year. But if you say, let them...
All right, Governor, let me ask you this. This is very important.
Maybe a state like Ondo,
yeah,
that is in the fifth generation of their prophet, take all the slots.
Yeah.
Exemption council 4 years back to Ghana.
Yeah.
So I think it's...
Yeah, let me ask you this. Now, I have been in some quarters. I'm actually from Abia State, and I've listened to some people talk. And the talk has always been that Abia has not been blessed with good leadership in terms of governors they've had in the past. And that was why you've had some rotten developments, infrastructure decay in the state. Now you are the helm of affairs. How would you want to remember it? Where will Abia be at the end of your tenure?
Okay. Incidentally, I don't quite agree that it's about bad leadership. My predecessors did some roads, they did some work, but the thing that is lacking is the philosophy they did. And you know that the act of governance, yes, the governor is at the driving seat, but he requires the support and impact to man Ministry of Works, Ministry of Environment, so on and so forth. What am I saying? The difference between what is happening now and what used to be is that we did a deep study of the topography of the Abia area, for instance. And we found out that on areas where water has sat for 20 years, that the soil texture changes and becomes a little bit silty, so that if you do flexible pavement and get off with it, that in a question of a year, 6 months, highest maximum 2 years, that you will lose the asphalt surfacing, and then the road will become eroded from the sub-base, which is laterite usually. So we decided to now do the rigid pavement, tying up the wire mesh or the iron mesh to the drainage, and then dealing with it with 10-inch concrete before overlaying with asphalt. So we have deployed a little more rigor, a little more depth in thought and planning. And we have also tried to tie up our activities end to end. Before now, we used to do roads in response to political patronage. But for us today, we prioritize roads, only roads that lead to our economic centers or nodes. It's either the road is leading to Urban Market in Umuahia, or is leading to Ariaria, or New Market, or something, or Izuku Market. So my interest is to do those roads first, then before I begin to see if I will have resources to do roads based on political patronage. So these are some of the things that has changed. And whatever that will not enhance trade, commerce, that won't enhance promotion of small and medium scale enterprises, that won't enhance better life for our people, we don't deal with them. We deal with things we regard as enablers. If I'm doing hospitals, those hospitals must be able to serve the industries that I'm building. My education is focused on technical education because I want to produce middle cadre manpower that can maintain the equipment that is used in the manufacturing of shoes and leather. Today, made in Abia shoes are no longer done using scissors and hammer. We have an automated shoe line that produces shoes.
Yeah,
and I tell you, we were doing shoes throughout. We are doing shoes for some big-time clients, and very soon we intend to begin to do shoes for the military and the police.
Yeah.
And before we sent 30 young people to China to go and learn how to.
Yeah,
so
I remember I listened to you, Governor, on that particular topic. And when I was listening, the day I was listening, it was quite interesting to me what you did. At this point, we will say thank you so much, Governor, for being on Newsday.
Thank you, sir.
All right.